The Washington Commanders are on the road to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. My best bets are on the way for the NFC Championship with a trip to the Super Bowl on the line. If you are new, my name is Austin from Calling Our Shot. In this video, I have 3 player props I love for this game, as well as a pick on the total. At the end of the video, I'll bring on in Logan. We'll talk about our favorite side or spread, who we think wins or covers in this game. But as always, we begin recapping how we did the previous week. Now, if you recall, we had a monster wild card weekend going 6-0, bringing out the brooms. Now, the divisional round wasn't as good, but man, we were so close to bringing out the brooms again. A 6-2 week. Our only 2 losses came in that Bills and Ravens game, both of them being parlays. It's funny that we have actually not missed a straight bet in the NFL playoffs, 12-2. Now, obviously, it's going to be tough to keep that going, but we certainly will try our best. Now, obviously, we're talking about the NFC Championship here. If you're curious about my picks in the AFC Championship, wait no longer. At least wait until maybe the end of the video. We did a separate video for obviously that big game between the Bills and the Chiefs. I'll link that down below. It'll be posted right after this one, so go check that out. My last note before I dive into our 4 picks, that DraftKings right now has 2 great offers. The first one is available to all new customers. That would be if you sign up with the link down below, top of the description. Bet $5, you get $200 in bonus bets. One of the best offers out there. Pretty low entry, cost me $5. You get $200 on bonus bets. Pretty dang good. Take advantage of that if you've never signed up for DraftKings. Additionally, if you are a DraftKings user, or maybe this is your first time, they're also running this really cool promo. It's called King of the End Zone. You get like a little token from them if you opt in, and you can bet on any NFL touchdown player. And if they get the longest touchdown on Sunday, you get a payout of about $2 million. They'll split it based on how many people bet on the same guy. I believe Curtis Samuel, a few weeks ago, cashed out for like 13 grand for everyone that put their token on him. You can play it safe with some safer guys, maybe like Saquon Barkley, or go big or go home. I don't know. Take advantage of that. Again, reminder, if you sign up, make sure you use the link down below. Bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets. But none of you guys came here for that. You came here for some winners. We need to go hopefully better than 6-2 like we did last week. We got 4 picks here, 3 picks in the AFC Championship. Let's dive into the first one. This is one of my favorite picks of the weekend. And this is a guy by the name of DeVonta Smith. I love his over 19.5 yards for his longest reception. Now, this is minus 113 on FanDuel, a 1-unit play. I would play it at 20.5 as well. Most books will give you a 19.5 or 20.5. You shouldn't have to go anywhere different. Now, I don't mind DeVonta Smith's regular over in receiving yards. I think that's in like the mid-40s. I just think if he's going to get there, he's going to need at least a decently long catch. Now, last week, if you backed DeVonta Smith, didn't really do a whole lot. Obviously, that was that snow game against the Rams. His longest reception was 7 yards. Now, if you recall from our recap, one of our winners was Jalen Hurts under and longest pass. Now, DeVonta Smith gave us some nerves there because Jalen Hurts chucked one deep to him. DeVonta Smith caught it. They got hit in the head for a personal foul, so he dropped it, and that would have obviously easily cleared this line. Now, there's a couple of reasons why I like this one. Number one, if you look at DeVonta Smith on the season, he's been pretty dang good. I mean, looking at his numbers, he is over in 10 of 15 games. That's pretty good. What I also like is he's destroyed this matchup. Look at him, over in 6 of his last 8 against him. This game with 13 came obviously a few weeks ago. That was with Kenny Pickett under center, and it was hike AJ Brown, or I'm handing off to Saquon. So really not a lot of sample size there. But again, this has been a Commander secondary, been better this season. But again, Marshawn Lattimore, their number 1 guy, is probably taking AJ Brown. St. Juice, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's going to guard him, and I think you'll see plenty of opportunities. And we've seen so far through the postseason, you go to the first Commanders playoff game, we saw 2 Buccaneers, Mike Evans and Jalen McMillan, both go over this line. Technically K-Dot too, but he's a tight end. Then you go to the Commanders-Lions game, you saw Amon-Ra St. Brown go over. Jahmyr Gibbs technically too. Tim Patrick went over. Jameson Williams finished 1 yard short, which will be a backbreaker. Again, I think this is a really good spot to back DeVonta Smith. I think he has some opportunities. Obviously, I know the Eagles are going to want to run the football, but you can't run it every single down, although they certainly could try. I think they'll have to keep the defense a little bit honest, and when they load the box, we'll take some shots. I think A.J. Brown probably gets the safety over the top on him. I think DeVonta Smith gets some opportunities. He's always destroyed the Commanders for whatever reason. I think he gets plenty of chances. I'll take his over 19.5 yards for his longest reception. First play of the day. My second play, we're going to take an under, and I know you guys will not like this one. You won't like the third play, but this one is a little bit interesting. Dyami Brown, I like his under 43.5 receiving yards, minus 109 on DraftKings. DraftKings is randomly giving out minus 109. Don't really know why, but I'll take it. 1-unit play. Now, if you've been backing Dyami Brown and his unders, you're 0-2 so far in the postseason. He's had a pretty good start to his postseason, but I think the wheels fall off in this matchup here for Dyami Brown and this Washington Commanders offense. I don't like this matchup at all for him, and I'll talk about why in a second. I just think this is a great sell high opportunity for Dyami Brown. Now, obviously, he could go out there and have 80 yards. He could do that. But when you're taking an under, you're always running that risk of me looking like an idiot. But again, we've been pretty good in the postseason taking these unders. I think this is a great sell high spot for Dyami Brown. Now, let's talk about him. Now, if you've been taking his unders, as I said, you've been getting absolutely torched. As in his first 2 games in the playoffs, 89 and 98 receiving yards. Now, obviously, a lot of that coming on a couple big plays here. But again, he's torched them. Now, if you go to the games against the Eagles, there was this one on Thursday. He obviously wasn't really involved, 4 yards. He didn't really play a ton. He had this game, though, 56 yards against the Eagles. But again, 51 of them came on one play. The other 3 catches, he had one for 5 yards. So this has been an Eagles secondary. It's been one of the best in the league. They're fully healthy for the most part. I think they're going to do a pretty good job at slowing down this Commanders pass attack. Now, another thing I really like is you look at so far his 2 matchups. He's faced the Lions, who have allowed the most receiving yards to wide receivers this season, and he faced the Buccaneers, who were 7th most. You flip that around, the Eagles, fewest receiving yards allowed to opposing wide receivers. I hate this matchup. I think if he hadn't gone off in these 2 games, you're probably looking at a line in the mid to low 30s. But the fact he's had 2 monster games coming in hot, I really feel like this is the perfect spot to sell high on Dyami Brown, and that's what I would do. I'll take his under 43.5 receiving yards. Love that spot to fade him. My next play, we're going to go to one that I know no one will like this one. I don't expect you to tail it. It's fine. You don't have to tail plays that you don't like. Obviously, it's your own money, so be cognizant of that. You don't just have to tail a guy that's talking on the videos. However, we have a pretty good track record. Saquon Barkley, under 25.5 yards for his longest rush. Yep, get out the comments. So look, you're an idiot fading Saquon. I've already gotten the comment 15 times by now, so you really don't need to leave it. If it gives you some happiness and joy leaving that comment, certainly go do it. And if Saquon gets a 26-yard carry, sure, come back to the video and let me know that I'm an idiot. I'll be in absolute shambles on my couch. I like fading Saquon here. And I'll talk about why. I think this line is way too inflated. If you recall, and heck, we'll go back to a recap of the divisional round recap. You see my 4th pick on here, Saquon Barkley, over 18.5 yards for his longest rush. I was just on the over last week. However, the line has jumped all the way up to 25.5, and I got to sell high because getting a 26-yard carry is not easy in the NFL. Now, obviously, Saquon is one of one. He's had one of the best, if not the best, rushing seasons out of any running backs we've ever seen. However, I'm okay fading him here, and here's why. Now, on the season, you'd look at Saquon. He's under in 10 of 18. If you look at the last 10 games, he is on under in 6 of 10. Look at the last 7. He's under in 5 of 7. Now, obviously, in here, you see 2 matchups against the Commanders. A 39-yard carry here, and obviously a 68-yard here. So he's over in both games against the Commanders. But again, we have to think in the playoffs, we're going to try our best to slow him down. If there's anything the Commanders are coming in here, it is going to try to slow down Saquon Barkley as best we can. I understand that the Commanders do not have a great running defense, but we do have future Hall of Famer Bobby Wagner, Frankie Louvu. I think Bobby Wagner's going to play. I don't really care if he doesn't, but I expect him to be out there. Again, we got to slow him down. It's getting a 26-yard carry ain't easy, guys. Come on. And I know a lot of people are going to go on to these sites. They're going to look at Saquon's rush yards, be like 127.5. Well, if he's going to get there, I'll just take the over on longest rush. It kind of was my analysis last week. I don't think that's the case this week. I think this is a week where maybe Saquon's more busting off like 7-8 yards per carry. They're keeping him away from the explosive runs. I could see that happening. We've seen the Commanders' offense be pretty consistent at staying on the field, taking the ball out of the opposing offense's hands. We know they're loading the box to slow down Saquon. I get it. He's historic. He can make me look like an idiot. I just personally think this line should be closer to like 21, 22.5, not at 25.5. I'd still play it at 23.5. I just think it's too high. So I'll take his under in longest rush. Might make me look like an idiot. Hey, it is what it is. We move on. I took some picks last week that could have made me look like an idiot, and they didn't. I'll still keep rolling with it. Last pick of the day before we dive into our spread and bring on Logan. I actually really like the under in this game. You guys know I don't do a lot of game picks, at least officially on the track record. I might bet them on the side for like a quarter unit. But when I give one out officially, you know I really like it. Last week was the Lions team total under. Kind of took a miracle to hit that. This one is the Commanders and Eagles under. I love the under in this game. I think it is way overvalued based on what the Commanders did last week. Now, obviously, in the first round of the playoffs, they scored a combined 43 points against the Buccaneers. Then they had the explosion. Jaden Daniels looked like a masterclass, looked like the best QB in the league against the Lions. However, these defenses are much different. Buccaneers defense is bad. We've already talked about that. Lions defense is so banged up. They're pretty bad. Both those teams, the only way they get pressure is blitzing the QB. So from the Commanders side, we saw, say, Jayden Daniels have big success against the Eagles at home. That was that game in week 17 when he threw for 5 touchdowns. Congrats. He had a big game. But again, they were blitzing him a lot more there. I think they realized that is not the recipe for success against Jayden Daniels. Instead, we let Jalen Carter and the D line get to him, and we instead play some drop. We play our coverage. We make Jayden Daniels check down and hopefully get a turnover or two. Wouldn't shock me at all. I think the Commanders' offense struggles here. I think it's a tough spot for him. I get it. You can let me know I'm an idiot down below in the comments, but I just don't like the spot for the Commanders. Every time I go on my TV, it's talking about Jayden Daniels being a top 5 QB in the league. Jayden Daniels this and that. Could they be going to the Super Bowl? I think this is a huge sell high on them. I get it. They beat the Lions. That was a defense that is banged up. This is, for the most part, a pretty healthy Eagles defense. They've seen Jayden Daniels twice now. They're at home. You look at Saquon's props. It's like, all right, well, they have his rush attempts line at 24.5. They're going to be pretty slow. I don't think the Commanders' offense is a big week. As for the Eagles side, they're capable of putting up big numbers. But again, I'm looking at Jalen Hurts, and I'm really concerned about his injury. He looks like he's going to wear a brace. His rushing yards props are really, really low at like 27, 29.5. To me, I think this is a lot of Saquon and Jalen Hurts throwing the football. If the Commanders have it their way, they will try to maybe speed up the game on offense or force Jalen Hurts to be a pocket passer against them. All of my chances, I think this is a low-scoring game. We know the Commanders are aggressive in the red zone on 4th and 2, 4th and 3. They'll be aggressive there. I think that comes to bite them because I think this is Eagles defense that can slow them down. So again, a lot of people might not like that under, but we're getting a key number of 47, which is one of the top, I believe, at 7th most common total point score in the NFL. I really like the under. So if you want to recap my official picks, I'll have scrolling at the bottom. DeVonta Smith's over in longest reception, Dyami Brown's under in receiving yards. Then we have Saquon's under in longest rush, as well as my 4th play, all for 1 unit, the under 47.5 in this game. Now I'm going to throw it to when I bring on in Logan and we talk about who we think wins and covers in this game. Maybe I'll touch on the under a little bit more there, but again, take it away. All right, Logan is here and he decided to match me. I don't know why he decided to do it, but you know what? He did it. And here we are to talk about the Commanders and Eagles game. Now, Logan, we're here to talk about a favorite spread, money line total. Last week in the Commanders game, I would argue you had your worst pick of the year. Would you care to tell people what you did, or would you like me to tell the people?
Now I'll tell people what I did. I was on the Commanders team total under. Definitely worst bet of 2025 so far. Lions defense got ran over, steamrolled, however you want to say it. Lions defense really in that game, though, they showed kind of why they weren't going to advance in the playoffs. Very banged up, very just out of position a lot of the plays. Credit to Jayden Daniels and the Commanders offense. They made me look really stupid last time.
That was a tough look for a second quarter loser on the pick 6. So that was tough. Yeah. But either way, we move on. We have a big game here. If people haven't already clicked off the video because I took a Saquon under, well, thank you for tuning in this far in the video. But Logan, you are a Philly guy. You're in Philly. We need a pulse on Eagle Nation, and we need your official pick for this game. What you got?
So for my official pick in this one, I'm running back last week's loss. I'm not done yet. I'm not done disrespecting the Commanders. I'm taking their team total under once again. I know, highly controversial. If your Saquon Barkley didn't stir up the people, this one definitely will, because the Commanders have shown the ability to hit this number with ease. I mean, against Philly, they've seen them plenty of times playing in the division. So you'd say, well, Logan, I really think that they'll go over this one. Their offense is well equipped. I say not so fast, because really what it comes down to is I don't think the Commanders are really going to be able to stop those long chew clock drives from the Eagles offense. What I would kind of like to take Commanders with the points, but I just really don't see how they're able to stop Saquon in totality. I mean, I get your Saquon under, that's a different bet. But this one, I just think they're going to be gashed for several 5-6 yard type runs. And really in Philly, what they want to do is they want to get in, get out, not let Jayden Daniels take the field, not let him make those explosive plays. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some kind of like softer zone coverage from the Eagles, where they're just not going to let guys like Terry McLaurin, Dyami Brown get over the top of them, because that's really what you can't have. When they played last time, you saw explosive plays like that from the Commanders offense. I don't think Philadelphia is going to be able to, or I don't think they're going to stop. I don't think they're going to let that up this time. It's going to be a lot of checkdowns, small type throws like that. And again, that Philadelphia defense in the red zone, very tough. they have game wreckers on that defensive front, like Jalen Carter. I mean, I'd argue he made the plays of the week last week in that snow game, because when you don't block him, he's just an absolute game wrecker. They have the guys in the secondary to really be able to limit those explosive plays and make life tough on the Commanders. So I do like the Commanders team total under look. I don't want to really touch either side of the spread because I'm not sure who covers. But I'm gonna take another shot on it. If I look stupid, come back to this video, leave a comment, let me know how dumb I am.
Yeah, that certainly could be the case. As the people saw early on in the video, I'm already at the under 47.5 in this game. I'll also give you a pick on the side. I'm also going to be on the Eagles -6. I won't track it towards the record and like the under, but I kind of already touched on the under, why I really like it. I just think this Commanders offense struggles, like Logan touched on. I think this is a much different task than facing a bad Bucks defense and a bad Lions defense. On the flip side, like you talked about, I think Saquon has a bad game. Hopefully people's when I said my under longest rush, they don't think I think that he has a bad game. I think he has a good game, but I just don't think it's a 26-yard carry. I think it's a lot of 10-yard carries, and it's just, hey, we're moving down the field, stop it. And if you can, good, but I just don't know if they're going to be able to stop it consistently. I mean, Saquon's averaging like 5.8 yards per carry this season. So again, if you're consistently getting 6 yards per carry, you don't need Jalen Hurts to throw it a ton. So I like the Eagles. I think they dominate here. I'll take them -6. I think everyone's buying into the Commanders. I think if the Commanders obviously didn't blow out the Lions last week, this line's probably closer to 7.5. But given how well they performed last week, it's obviously down to 6.5, maybe on some bucks. I'll take the Eagles minus the points, plus the under, tracking the under towards the official record. But Logan, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
This is going to be another fun game here in Philadelphia. You guys saw a snow game here in Philly last week. Some of the snow's still outside. It's not melted yet. But I definitely think we're going to see a great game. I love seeing divisional matchups in the playoffs because these two teams, they've seen plenty of each other. The film is all out. Again, I still think that does benefit the Eagles because, paper, matchup for matchup, they are the better team. They are priced that way. But the NFL playoffs can be wacky. Every now and then you get those dark horse teams. Are the Commanders going to stand up? I'm excited to see if they do.
It should be a really good game. The NFC Championship, those are our favorite picks of the day. As always, appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you want to check out our video for the AFC Championship, I'll put it right on the screen. Go check it out. Bills versus Chiefs. Find our best bets over there, and you'll see Logan's pick over there as well. We'll see you guys back again in the next one. Grace.